The senator from Henrico, Senator Dunnavant, rise.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to speak to the bill.
Senator, has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have to admit that this is the part of the process that we do down here that I still feel very much of an outsider looking in to see how it works. And as I see it, there's a reasonable concept here that there has been concerns about trust between the citizenry and the police based on things that we've all seen nationally. I think we all agree on that, right? And then the next part that I think we agree on is that the public's involvement in the process has the opportunity to improve it and to reconcile some of that distrust that's happened. I think we'd all like to see that. This bill doesn't do that. This bill supplants the authority of discernment about actions and violations of policy to a source outside of the departments that have the expertise. I served on the board of medicine for several years before I came here, and I discerned the cases where we considered decisions other physicians had made and decided the consequences for them. But it was an imperative that I understand how medicine was practiced, what it was to provide quality, adequate care, what it was to violate that standard. And I hesitate to think how a potentially emotionally or politically charged civilian review board of physicians would have actually made good decisions in that situation. But they were a part of the decision. There's an opportunity to have advisory boards that make a difference in Virginia to better relationships and to make things better going forward. I've heard today, and I've heard again and again in this session, and maybe in other sessions, but it seems to resonate in this one, that this is going to be okay. Quote, "This is an okay thing to do." Are you kidding me? I'm not here to be okay. I'm not here to make things okay for my citizenry. I'm here to represent and do the right thing. We have a clear imperative as the legislature of Virginia to set guidelines for the localities that allow them to prosper and discern and to use their own discretion in those cases within limits, but not just throwing out wildfire kind of ideas that are going to be okay. Let's just trust them. It's going to be all right. This is inherently flawed. We should not be passing. All of us can agree on this. I know that there are political motivations to make these decisions now. I know that this sounds like it answers something we all think is important, but the details of this bill are not what they purport to be. You all know it. We're doing the wrong thing to pass this bill. I'm going to ask you to do the right thing today and make sure this doesn't pass. And I will just make one more connecting point. If you want to look at how does this bill affect the morale of our police officers, you think about your professional life. And you think about having complete uncertainty on how your actions are going to be reviewed because the people who are reviewing you may have the best interests at heart, but they do not understand anything about the job you do and the information and expertise that goes into that. That uncertainty is going to demoralize your law enforcement community, and it already has. And I think that we need to make really sound decisions here and be careful, and we can do that in a different vehicle than this bill, but not this one. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank the senator. For what purposes